guys, welcome back to another episode of Brooklyn's Balance. You guys said that you needed a little balance, and I think that we found it. Today, I am sitting here with not my usual suspects. I am sitting here with some guests. This right here I want to call an intervention. This is a creators meeting. The topic of this episode is there's no friends in business, and what better way to do it with people who are starting businesses and people who don't know me and people who don't know about each other's businesses to have a conversation. So to my left, I have Mr. Z.
What's good, y'all? Tea Party Z.
There we go. I have Mr. Phil.
What's going on, everybody? Phil, aka Phil Rich.
Right, and I have Mr. Quan.
What's happening?
There you go. All right, so on this episode today, I just really want to have an open conversation with you guys. But first, I think that you guys should explain, one, your relationship with me, and two, what it is that you guys do.
All right, I'll start off first. So I met you through a mutual friend, Deidre.
Yes.
In
Shout out
passing,
to Deidre.
You know, at
a couple of shindigs.
Yep. Poconos, right?
Yep, with you and Bobby Schmurder.
Yep, and a couple other shindigs, yeah. And I'm just a podcaster. I'm a living room podcaster. I don't have a fancy setup like this. Oh. Just a living room podcaster, and yeah, that's what I do.
Nice. So we don't know each other formally. I know Carrie.
Right.
And Carrie told me about your show.
Carrie, aka Mark, our editor. Sorry.
So yeah, that's how I'm being introduced to everything. Me on my own, I am a realtor. Also, I have a podcast called the Cultivating Podcast, which we just launched last month. So right now it's in editing. Pilot episode should be dropping next month. Yeah, and then that's me in a nutshell.
Gotcha.
I don't even remember the first time we met.
We met at a party 5 years ago.
Yeah, honestly,
birthday.
yeah. I just
You
know
never,
every
you never
time.
Met. You never remember party meetups.
You never remember. You just always know. Like every time we go to an event, and I'm with Charlene because that's who I know you from.
Yes.
I never even know you're gonna be there. We just always show up, and I'm like, oh shit, look, it's me. And then like, there's always times where I'm like outside in the street randomly, we bump into each other. So
Gotcha.
And it's just always been love that way. Personally, I'm an office administrator. Ooh. I don't work for myself. I do work for a company. I'm not gonna big them up right now because that's not what we're here for. But that's what I do. Personally, my main hobby, I guess, is just writing. I don't rap, so don't get that in your head. Yeah.
Gotcha. So my biggest question I'm gonna ask y'all, sorry if I'm gonna put y'all on the spot. Have y'all seen this podcast that I'm a lovely creator of, Brooklyn's Balance? At least one episode, a snippet, know where to find us at.
Yes, I've seen all the snippets you put up. I've checked out. Yeah.
What's your favorite one? No.
I don't really have a favorite one, but I like your setup though. I like the way you do it. It's very free form, and you have the topics you want to talk about. Yeah.
Gotcha.
Mm-hmm.
I've caught part of. Forgive me.
It's okay.
Part of an older show you've had. I have not had a chance to catch up fully.
That's fine. We just starting season 2 right now. This is episode 3 of season 2.
Okay.
I've caught a snippet of the episode. I don't remember the name of the episode. The episode from May 30th of last year.
Ooh, what was we doing? What was we wearing?
It was 4 y'all. You guys were in the other studio.
The colorful one. Yes. Shout out to Arthur and BK Media Studios. That is definitely our first home still. Don't kill me.
There was this. Oh man, I don't even remember the name of the guest. I'm sorry.
How many guests did you start with? Because I could have sworn I seen like 8 people one time.
So that's why we're here today, because no friends in business. The podcast started off with 4 people. To be honest, it was created with 2. It was myself and my best friend Maurice at the time, aka Mo. He is the person that has created our intro. Rapper. I didn't know he was a rapper. It was like, this is your friend who you hang out with, and we go places, and he go, I spit butter, spread it. And then I'm just like, yeah, okay. So I'm like, yo, he's like, go do a podcast. Because I was a part of another podcast that one of my friends from way back in the day asked me to come on. I was up there as a guest, and then I turned a permanent person, and I honestly didn't like the direction that they were going. The topics that they were talking about, and you could just tell it was just unorganized. The episode for me was, hey, what's your body count?
Damn.
And the podcast, I'm going to put their name out there, was His Side, Her Side, and the Truth.
Oh, okay.
So when you have two his sides putting a topic together for her sides, you're kind of just like, so what the hell?
Yeah, it's already unbalanced.
And I'm a stand-up person, so I was like, I don't like that episode. And you see my whole disdain through the whole episode, and I continue to do it. Now, everybody podcast, that I just realized I didn't fit there. My friends told me, hey, that doesn't work out for you. So that's when I got with me and Mo, and he was just like, man, F that podcast, we're gonna go do our own. But he's that friend that always joke like, you don't need this. So I ain't take it seriously.
Right.
And then he was just like, nah, let's really do it. Let's sit down, let's do it. And I'm a person that once you tell me to do something, I'm gonna go do it. The other podcast began talking nonsense, and it was, yeah, she was gonna go get her own podcast, but they'll see it and da-da-da-da. I work off of ammunition. You tell me I can't do something, well, I'm gonna show you I'm gonna get it done.
Challenge accepted.
There you go.
And I'm gonna do it bigger and better.
Yeah.
Went, found the biggest studio that I could find. I went and found a studio that nobody had. I went and got apps while they was on YouTube. I said, I'm gonna make a goddamn intro. I said, we gonna find a beat. I bought my first beat. I sat down and was like, we gotta find somebody to rap on it. I contacted so many of my friends who rapped, and then he was like, nah, I could do it for you. I ain't believe him. We showed up to the damn studio. Lo and behold, he went that damn booth and he did it. And I was like, oh, okay. We did that. Then it was me and him, and we was like, we gotta find some other people, because me and you agree. And he was like, I'm gonna bring my mans, you know him. That's when I met Coach. And then I brought my homegirl Camilla, because we worked together at the airport, and she was in the mix of doing her music, and it looked like podcasting, and we all sat down, and that's how our first episode Accountability came about. I thought that was a good start. Fast forward, without telling a lot of business, I find that there was a lot of entitlement, and there was a lot of things I could have said I probably done wrong. I started it off right, which was I had contracts. It was everybody's gonna sign a contract, so that's a little different from the situation that we all gonna talk about.
Right.
I made a lot of negotiations. I put forward a lot of stuff, and I think the friendship part started to dissolve for me. It was like, once we're in this studio, this is gonna get done, because now I have a point to prove.
Yeah.
And when that point is proven, unfortunately, I'm gonna be tunnel driven. If you need to break me out of that, it should go, hey, Meekz, I need to talk to you. That balance never occurred. So now we fast forward, and it's you see where your brand is going. And I'm gonna say brand because I never said this was my podcast. I've always said this is our podcast. It was me and the other person. It was always me and him. This is our podcast. But you can tell when people start to talk to you and go, hey, this is your podcast. You do what you want to do.
Yeah.
Passive aggressive that way, right?
You don't want the responsibility.
Right.
You just want to show up and do what you got to do.
Yeah.
Our topics when we started off was very open. Talk about it. You didn't need to research.
Yeah.
Then it became, hey, we got to start researching. I need to start hitting harder with more topics. I need to grab more people's attention, which is when we went into Hoarding 101, which is one of my favorite episodes, where it's guys against girls and how to figure out how to take girls out on dates. What do guys expect? And it's like, hey, you guys can't say certain things. Our first edit to that episode, I cannot lie, I had to scrap it. It was very cancer culture-y if I would have put it out. And I had to explain to my counterpart, hey, we can't do that. That's not allowed. You cannot say that about people. But I say how I feel, and that's how I am, man. They're gonna be all right.
Yeah.
And that's his personality. That's fine. I'll never stop you from that.
Right.
But I'm thinking ahead. Money, endorsements, signings.
Yeah, of course.
You can't do that. All I need is for them to go, yeah, we want the funny person, but this. And I love my friend to pieces, and I think I should have set the standard of, we're just not gonna go up there and be drink champs and laugh all day. There's gonna be times we have to hit hard topics. I did not set that standard of expectation.
You know, sorry to cut you.
No, it's fine.
So you're not wrong for trying to set a standard from the gate, because that's gonna dictate the direction your whole brand is gonna go.
Right.
I used to work. Well, I went to school for radio and journalism, media marketing.
You hate people like me. I just popped up.
No. I actually appreciate it, because the thing is, when I went to college for it, it wasn't, when you ask about the career expectation in it, it's not high.
Right.
And it's highly competitive. And then YouTube came along.
Just changed the whole
And it just changed the whole game. Now anybody can jump in, and it just goes to show you that it's possible. When I was doing it, you know, my father tried, oh, why don't you just be a carpenter? Why don't you go for law or something?
Pick up a skill, gonna last.
Yeah, but my thing was music. I love music. Right. I love broadcast. I love radio. After college, I was working with a radio station. It's a Caribbean radio station in Canarsie, 90.1. I had a whole show on there for 2 years with my brother, and the main thing he kept pressing on me about that show, because I was a little rebel with my commentary and my content, and I would talk a lot of activist stuff. So he would be like, "Yo, there's certain things you just can't say, because you got FCC, you got censorships, and and then there's groups who have vested interests, or you might be compromising some things you don't even know, you don't even realize you might be compromising some things for certain groups, and they'll come after you. So you gotta watch what you say on the radio." So you're not wrong about it. It's just that with this podcast platform, you know, it's kind of like a free wild west kind of situation.
I was more so thinking the business perspective. It was once I think I didn't sit down and start to share so much of where I wanted it to go. Because once you go, "Hey Z, how you feel about this topic?" "Oh man, that's cool." "Okay." "Hey, how you feel about this topic?" "Oh, that's cool." I'm a person, I pick up on cues. I see it twice, not asking your ass no more. Now I'ma just do it myself. So it went from a group thing to now it's like somebody gotta take the lead.
Yeah, you gotta, it's egos. Egos are the biggest thing when it comes to like working with a team and stuff. You gotta identify who's the leader. And it has to be trust. It has to be trust, because you can't just have everybody throwing out a bunch of stuff and all that. You get everybody on the same page.
Structure.
Too many chefs in the kitchen.
And even outside of that, just to go back, how you said you used to be part of another show before this, before you started your own show, you realized the mistakes that were being made in the first show. And that's the best thing that we should all do. Whether you're leaving something to go start something on your own, or whether you're continuing what you already started from the beginning. You always have to look back and you say, you know, like, I know every artist, every creative, they hate looking back at their own work. We all hate it. All of us, we all hate it. No matter what your creation is, whether you are a designer, a writer, a visual artist, no matter what it is, you always look back at certain things. You go, "I hate this. I hate this."
Or it's like, what could I have done better? And I kind of spent a lot of time beating myself up about this. This happened, I want to say, last year, September. It happened abruptly. It's like when we were getting hot, everybody was paying attention to us. I was picking up on things, and I just realized I had to do a lot of business stuff on my own and just come to everybody. Everybody complained, so then I had to hit them with, everybody come up with their own stuff, come to me with a topic, let's present it, and we're good. We usually meet the day before to practice conversations. It doesn't have to be scripted, but it's like, I need to know what's your 4 points. And that's how we're gonna handle it. And that's what we were doing. And I gave the topic to him, and he picked the topic. Don't get me wrong, the topic was fire. Very controversial. But also, you being my friend and I'm being your friend, you know my likes and my dislikes. You know what's gonna trigger me. We were doing the cancel culture, and the counter to that was the greatest of all time. We wanted to list who the GOATs were. When you list the GOATs, they're all in different tiers. It could be the GOAT of rap, a business mogul, sports, basketball, R&B, ladies diva. I'm like, we're not gonna get through that in 30 minutes. Homeboy, you got to wrap this up. So I started helping with the structure. Everybody was there. There was food, all of that. Now we fast forward and get to this one part of the list where we go, okay, so pick your rap moguls, because we can't just do rap, because we're not gonna sit here and go Dylon. We're not gonna do that. We have to pick rap moguls, and for GOAT, you have to put what the stipulations are. They have to meet each and every stipulation. He picked all of the stipulations, and we said, agreed, we'll find somebody who meets all of that. We created the rap list, the rap mogul list. At the top was Master P. I can't remember who was number 2, 3, 4, 5 in that order, but I know 50 Cent was up there. I know Dr. Dre was up there. Diddy was definitely up there. We got to number 5. And number 5 was between Jay-Z and Nick Cannon.
Oh.
What? Nick Cannon?
Nah, Nick Cannon put in work, man. He put some work.
I won't say he didn't.
My God.
I won't say he
so
didn't.
the stipulations was you have to have a music label that is successful, mening you have put people on as a mogul to create money.
Which is what knocks him out. I feel like automatically. That's the first thing that comes to my mind, because everything else, Nick Cannon is on his job. Yeah. He works with Children's Hospital. Right. I don't remember the exact one, but he has the whole fund, you know, to donate towards them.
Yeah, because he has lupus. Yes,
you know, he had the show. And the show been on since.
And it wasn't canceled at the time. It was still going on. Yes. He put a lot of like DC Young Fly and all of those people. They started 85 South. Yeah. And it had to be done within the 5 years. So now when you go to Jay-Z, he had nothing going on in that 5-year period. Any music feature he has done was with Beyonce. Yeah. You can't say that he had Duce because he was helping Memphis Bleak, who was already with Duce.
Yeah. Right.
And it was just like the only thing Nick Cannon did not have was a liquor. But now if we're in a conversation, this is where all of this needs to come out. Research. Pick up your phone. Let's figure it out. Yeah. And I'm that person. Google it. Nobody want to Google it. So what the hell we doing with phones? I had a whole smart TV. So I turned it on. They said just like Nick Cannon don't have no record label. I pulled up Incredible. Yeah. At that time, a song with Jacquees, him and somebody else, and it said released 2 days ago. And I'm like, ta-da, just like that. Yeah. So now, based off of my demeanor, now my friends will tell you, yes, Tamika can be very aggressive. When she says what she says, I just talk stern. I spoke in this manner. Are there times where I could say I have raised my voice to people? Yes. In that moment, I can tell you I did not. Why? Because it was 1 a.m. We're in my apartment. I'm fucking tired. I just served everybody food. I just want to get this topic done. We had to be to the session the next day after I had to do a 3 to 11 at work. Yeah. I was just like, hey, go back, go check it, figure out what you want to do with Jay-Z, because if you ask me, we could just put him on the list. But for right now, Nick Cannon going to stay up there until you find me some concrete information. Yeah. When you find the concrete information, we could go to that. If not, until then, he's scrapped. Next thing I know, I look up. Somebody walks out. Perception of the room is crazy. When I asked everybody what happened, everybody was like, you weren't yelling. You specifically said, figure it out, or it's scrapped. Yeah. Somebody said, well, maybe he said, maybe you need to figure this shit out, and you're scrapped.
Insecurity, man.
The conversation next day then became, yeah, she was disrespecting me. We've been friends for years. You've watched me talk to people. Right. You have been the person that sat to the left of me whenever I've done contracts, and whenever our other 2 counterparts come up late, we're the ones that's like, you're replaceable. You talk to me about everything. Yeah. What the fuck happened?
And this is as y'all started becoming more and more like popular.
I had to go back in and rebrand. So I guess like how all felt on the Joe Budden thing, why would you go start again? The session was the next fucking day.
Ah, man.
I had to scramble to sit in an episode, emotions running high, and go, let's try to stick to this topic and try not to explain to this person that a face is not there. And that's a prominent face. I'll never not say that he did not make this shit run. Right. Did we bring the same amount of things to the table? No. We brought different sides. He was comical. Right. I was just like, you gotta stick to your gears. Somebody, that's the balance part.
Okay. Everybody brings something.
Everybody does. And I'll never not say, but I think a big thing when it comes to podcasting and having conversations with people is that you have to understand it is okay to disagree. Yeah. It is okay. Yeah. I think it was that he never thought we would ever disagree. But you knew damn well I don't like Jay-Z. You know that. And it's just like, I was going to put up a fight for that. In that moment, I was going to Google whatever the fuck I could Google to get him off this list.
See, but even outside of the aspect of the like and dislike, you're also doing your job with the research.
Yeah. Right.
Because you can't just come up with a topic like that you know, when you come up with the GOAT conversation,
right.
it's more so based in opinion
right.
for the most part. There's a lot of times it's based in opinion.
Right.
A lot of times it's based in facts.
Right.
Like you were trying to make it that way.
Right.
Which is why you had those stipulations, and that's why you said, yes, we can have this conversation, but each of these people, no matter what field they're in, or whether you focus it on a specific field,
right.
these people have to meet each of these bullet points. As soon as you miss one, that's it. You're out the conversation. You're done.
Gotcha. So how did your honest opinions on one, do you feel like I handled it wrong? Do you feel like he may have handled, because we have not spoken to that very day, which was this last year on September.
Wow.
I have reached out.
Yeah.
I have tried to apologize. I've taken the next counterpart, what is his best friend. And I've had an intervention live on air, which is when you guys did see the other people sit. And I had to go, if you see your homeboy do something wrong, would you not tell your homeboy that he's wrong?
Right.
To realize
I saw that.
this is a passive-aggressive person that's just like, yeah, that's my boy.
Yeah.
That's not okay.
Yeah.
Some of his friends did unfollow me because I guess my point in the episode was, if he can do this to me, he can do this to you. And they was like, nah, I don't believe that. They didn't know it was about him. But it's like, nah, they can do that to you. If somebody disrespects their mother, what makes you think they give a fuck about you and your friendship? They don't care about things like that.
Yeah.
And this was a business thing.
Yeah.
And it's just like, hey, you put me in a bind where I gotta figure things out. You showed me that there are no friends in business.
You know, I'm coming to the realization that not that friends can't do business together, but then it just has to be a healthy respect for the roles
That's
and
what it's all about, man.
and the positions that everybody has to play.
Right.
I think, especially with our culture, we don't take business serious.
Right.
Everybody wants to be free willing. Everybody wants things to just have like, whatever goals kind of structure.
Right.
But that's not how it works in the bigger world. In the
Gotcha.
mainstream media, everything has a pecking order. I think, especially with us in our culture, there's too much Sigma male kind of, Sigma mentality where
Right.
it's like, I'm gonna do what I want to do.
Yeah.
You know, I'm gonna be a successful island all by myself. I don't need to work with nobody to be. And it doesn't work like that
At all.
You need people to make this run. When it comes to your situation, I think you handled it the best way you can. It's just personalities.
Gotcha. But my thing is that we've had these personalities for years.
Yeah.
We have meshed well. It is perfect.
But
We
now-
did not have an issue.
You adding attention and people and other opinions involved, and then egos now are being amplified.
But
Yes.
I feel like I'm a good person to talk to. I
Yeah.
feel like after we're done with this meeting, I need to holler at you. I didn't appreciate that. Just what did I say that was wrong?
Right. Yeah.
Like, I'm gonna listen to you.
Yeah.
But that's also the issue too, because you have to, even though you've been friends with a person for like X amount of time, it's first of all, like we all agree, it's different once you start bringing business into it.
Right.
Yeah.
So even
But hey,
just based
I
on
didn't ask for it.
but even based on what you say, right? I've never worked with you personally, but even just based on this conversation, I can obviously tell, like, what her drive is very high. Like, if she's about this, she's about this, and it's either I'm gonna be right next to her with this, or I'm gonna be at least only one step behind. I can't be more than 2 steps behind you, because at the end of the day, no, everybody's not meant to be a leader.
Right.
Yeah.
But that doesn't mean that you have to follow. You feel
Right.
me? Like, yes, you can follow somebody to pick up tips, but at the same time, we're gonna switch spots. So I'll follow you on this topic because you know more than I do. But then on the next topic, you have to realize, my partner knows more about this than I do.
Right.
So let me follow them this time. So that's also the thing about the partnerships. But when it comes to business, people, at first you're thinking like, we're gonna make all this money. And then you start getting into the nitty gritty and you're like, damn. this is kind of intense.
And I think that's what it was for him, because I was the negotiator. It's walking into a room and I go, and this is what we're gonna do. Like, you probably thought he was gonna talk the business, and it's like, nah, this is what's gonna happen for us, and this is how we're gonna get this. And I want all of these apps, and I want this, and he was just like, she got it. Yeah, this is good. But then it's like you see me negotiating more stuff, and you're like, she's dead ass. Yeah. And I'm like, well, you want to work? I don't want to work. Like, I didn't get it. I thought, like, you could be able to put it to the side.
It's like sports. It's like, I'm a big sports guy, right? Right. I view everything through the lens of sports. He has on a Kobe shirt, so I'm going to use Kobe as an analogy. Right. Okay. A lot of people didn't like playing with Kobe. Because Mamba mentality. Kobe was about the game.
I just didn't like Kobe.
Kobe was about the game.
I was an AI person.
He was so serious. He took his craft serious. Outside the game, he's doing everything he can to make himself better in the game and all that stuff, right? And he'll get upset with his teammates because you're not as focused as he is. Right. And it's not that he don't have a personal problem with you. It's like, yo, like, we on a team together. I need you to eat like this. I need you to exercise like this. I need you to do this. Right. And then as a team, everybody has their powers. Like, Kobe is the scorer. Kobe's going to be the guy that we go get a ball to in the late minutes or whatever. Right. But your job is to, get blocks, rebounds, pass the ball. Like, everybody has a job they have to do. Right. You got to trust in everybody in their role. Yeah. And when you have, like, a huge ego, or if you're just an insecure person, you're not going to be able to, you can't handle a team situation like that. You can't handle it.
You made a good point. I'm gonna play the devil's advocate just a little bit. Gotcha. So to give you another example, me and my fiance, we had launched a business about 6 years ago, selling liquor. We started getting really popular, selling, Miami, Boston, Philadelphia, everything. We were doing big openings in Miami and stuff like that. Gotcha. 2 years ago, she went into 3 years ago. Excuse me. She was studying law at the time, and this is at the height of when everything started to get really big for us. Right. I couldn't dedicate too much time in the business because I'm working outside of it. Not only that, I'm doing a lot of networking, a lot of events. Right. And I needed her to be a little bit more involved in it. Gotcha. So this way I could free up and make connections to push us forward. Right. To say that, skip every, it fell apart between us because, and here's why she said it fell apart. She decided to work outside of it. She said, I neglected her throughout the entire endeavor, meaning like our relationship outside of the business. Right. I neglected her in that aspect. It just became all transactional. And that's...
You are 100% right. I'm a person of, if I argue with you right now, I'm gonna win this argument right now. But when I step away, I think. And that was all I kept thinking for the whole week. It was, he needed me, or he wanted to talk about something, but because my mind was so focused on that, I didn't get to. And the thing that kind of broke me down a little bit was I found out a week later from Coach, who didn't want to tell me, he was pregnant. A whole baby shower happened that I'm pretty sure I was supposed to be there for. That I'm pretty sure I was supposed to be a godparent for, because numerous times it was over, hey, can you meet her? Can you meet her? Can you meet her? And I was just not for it. Yeah. You didn't tell me why. Like, you ain't got to surprise me. I ain't the fucking baby mama. Like, and it was just like, if you were going through that and you needed to pause, you have to know when to talk to me. You have to know when to tell me to fucking pause. Pause, right. And that's what I thought, and that's how I feel. But I feel like we also can't have that conversation because now I'm a little bit more pissed off. I'm a little bit more disturbed because it's like, you know me. You've spoken to me about everything. Yeah. You could have came and you could have fucking said something. But you also asked for us to start this. I didn't ask to start this. Yeah. You was like, we're going to prove a fucking point to these people. That was what you told me to do. So that was how I chose to handle it. Right. I feel like there's no coming back from it. But I do feel like there is a conversation. I'm not opposed to a conversation. Like, what happened that day? What did you think? Because that's not what happened. With 4 people in the room, that's not how I would have handled it. That's not how it would have went. Like, I don't know, I saw you coming in, your wheels were already spinning. You had a bad day from work. You came in from the airport pissed already.
Yeah.
Your cab driver was an asshole. I remember all of that.
Yeah.
So that's why when you walked out, I'm thinking it's something else. I didn't think it was me until I text you the next day.
Yeah.
And it's just, nah, I'm not feeling this. You know, you don't wake up and not feel it. You're running. Because it's just like, you know what? This is my out. That's how I took it. Fuck this shit. Fuck this shit. I got all this stuff on the way, but it's like, don't make it seem that I am the person that this is the reason why it's not together. And you have people looking at me, not that I give a fuck what people think.
Right.
Why is she switching so many seats? Now, me personally, I'm gonna do what I have to do. But my brand, yes, I care how that looks, and you fucked up my brand. You had a contract. If you want to be technical, I should have sued you. But that was me taking the friendship part out of it. I'm sorry, I really want to put this up, Rob. So,
Good.
for me, that's kind of what it was. I knew it, and I was able to decipher that on my own. I just need you to sit in front of me to talk to me. When I send the third party to go, tell your man when he calmed down, let's sit down and talk. Nah, he don't want to talk to you. Did you even talk to him? Like, you were there that night. Did you tell him what he did? And it's just like, I don't really. And it's just like, and you're okay with that. Like, did you know that he didn't just leave me? Bitch, he left you. He left us. He brought you. You're not gonna fix that. And it's just like, as a friendship, I can tell that he's never faced consequences amongst their relationship. And it's like, you need to see that. If he can do that to me, a little old female, no matter how aggressive I am, you know that he gonna do that shit to you, right? So why don't you check him? Because if I see somebody do that shit, if I see DJ or Charlene, I'm over. Bitch, what the fuck?
Yeah, you gotta say something.
Get your shit together. We not doing it, you know, and I'm not fucking with you until you fix that. And they'll be like, okay. Sometimes they go, Tamika, do you think that you're harsh? No, I believe I'm harsh. I say exactly how it is. I don't know how to sugarcoat stuff. I start at 10, and we'll come down together. I'm not gonna start here, and you bring me here. No, I'll get there myself. You don't get responsibility for that. So I see that, and I just think that from a creator's point of view, just to play these 2 quick clips, we're gonna talk on it, and then that's it. I felt very drawn to this fucking conversation.
Gotcha.
Also, the person who put me on to this podcast was Mo. This is what started me wanting to do this type of podcast. So.
Okay.
Which is also why I apologized once we started talking about all our tension and took some accountability of how I was moving with certain things. I explained where they came from, but I took accountability in saying, no, I do owe you that respect where I should not sit here and say that to my friend. I should have went to my friend and said, hey, not feeling what's going on here.
Biggest part for me that I took out of that whole conversation. I don't care about like everything else around it. The biggest thing was they sat down and had a whole fucking conversation before it went left. Don't get me wrong, a lot of shit went wrong. But the fact that they showed that they could sit down and have a conversation. I saw the tension. I saw a lot of heated shit. Yes, they fixed it. To go on and go do that. And they did it live on air. So that they can have that explanation. Now, I wouldn't have did that, but I would have spoke behind closed doors.
They mentioned that they spoke behind closed doors.
Yeah, but you could tell when they got there and they started saying some other shit. Joe was like, fuck that bitch slaughterhouse. We didn't talk about that.
You could kind of see it in all 3 of their faces. There's a couple of moments where each person brings up something that they didn't discuss, and like the previous kind of like, whoa. Right. We didn't say we was gonna talk about my mom's shoelaces. You said you wasn't gonna bring that up, bro.
You feel me?
That's not her fault that her ankles is fucked up.
But I think my big thing I took from that is that everybody took accountability and everybody had a conversation. I did reach out, and it's like coming from a creative standpoint. Yeah, sometimes you gotta put your pride aside and talk to people. Yeah. But how does that work when you're trying to talk to them and they not trying to talk to you?
Well, they went to like therapy and stuff. So.
And I'm proud of them. Yeah. They took extra. How many men do that?
People gotta know how to express it. They gotta know how to like decipher their feelings.
But sorry to put this out there, that person is about to be a whole parent. Baby, these are the steps that you need. This is 5 steps to get there.
Already. You needed to have that in place already.
And it also goes that they also admit that it took them a while to get to the point where they were comfortable having that conversation. And yes, that's also the point. Like,
but the show must go on. That's why I agree with Joe about. It's gonna go on. I can't stop.
It's both of those. Like, you have to have that conversation at some point, no matter how long it takes. But at the same time, we got this money. It's coming in the pocket.
That's it. Like, we got an endorsement, bitch. I don't like you, but we gonna figure this out.
Right. Yeah.
I seen New Edition and the Temptations do that shit. How many times? I don't get it.
Times, yeah.
How many times they tried to get rid of David Ruffin and then was like, now, bitch, it's time.
Yeah.
If you choosing not to speak on it, he can't get mad at you.
But I also don't want you out there speaking negatively about myself and my brand. Because if it was me, as a dude, I'm going to go, that little old girl?
You let her do that to you?
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
So this is the next and last clip that I really wanted to point out.
Be great. Then you came on the show. Seemed to stick.
Mm-hmm.
Did you have plans on staying? Like when you went into that, did you think it was gonna be a one-off?
Yeah.
Okay.
I thought he just wanted to, kick the shit and bust it up, laugh, shit.
First thing wrong with business that I found wrong. Everything else kind of negated what the fuck they said. I invite you somewhere to come do something, a place of business, and you just going, yeah, I thought it was just some cool shit.
Just a kickback.
You did that shit for 4 years, and now you want to ask me for some fucking papers?
Yeah. That's the biggest issue with them is that they never outline from the beginning. This is what we're expecting, and this is what we want. This is what we're bringing to the table.
Or even go, hey, we're still gonna be friends at the end of the day,
And we're
right?
still, yeah. They didn't do nothing. The whole conversation, it was, especially with Rory, was saying, "Oh, it's fine. Don't worry about.
We're friends. Let's just do it as friends. Friends, y'all ain't have this fucking network.
Right. That's how it starts.
Yeah.
You gotta have it outlined. Expectations
That's
need
on
to be.
Joe. He's the leader. He gotta be the leader and let them know.
That,
especially
See,
when
it's
right.
half and half.
It's half and half.
That's the problem.
They
He's
messing
the leader.
with a celebrity.
Yeah.
That sitting down, I was thinking of a money plan.
Right.
Yeah.
If you don't come to me, just like every other record label, like how they got TLC and everybody talk about papers and money.
Yeah.
Bitch, I'm not presenting it to you. What am I presenting it to you for?
Yeah.
Friend or not, you have common sense. You've seen me in my deals with Slaughterhouse, so why the fuck didn't you know? Maybe you should sign a contract with me because I like to break shit up. That's your business.
Yeah. I mean, they know him. They know how he move already.
He
So
got a track record, so
But y'all chose to come running with me. Y'all hit the track with me. Why did you not think it would get done to you? Regardless of if you thought I was doing something to you, which I don't feel like he did. I think he was completely honest. And that's how I felt about it. But we kind of running into time.
Okay.
So I definitely appreciate y'all for this conversation. We did give a different spin on this. I didn't want to go and talking shit about somebody else's problems because everybody got their own problems in house. So from a creative standpoint, thank you guys for having us understand that there are no friends in business. Sit the fuck down, get your contracts together, talk to people, set standards, set expectations, and go from there. Thank you for watching this episode of Brooklyn's Balance, and we're out.
Peace.